Hey there, my name is Sarah. I'm a naturopathic doctor practicing in Toronto, Ontario. In this video, I'll answer the question, how much money do naturopathic doctors make? The short and sweet answer to this question is between $20,000 a year to over $100,000 a year. Now, while that may answer the question, it doesn't really answer the real question, which is, how much effort does a naturopathic doctor need to put in to earn just $20,000? And how much more effort does a naturopathic doctor need to put in to earn over $100,000 a year? That's the real question. Unfortunately, there is no short and sweet answer, only a long one, because there are various different factors that determine a naturopathic doctor's income. In this video, I'll only touch on 3 factors and tell you how much a naturopathic doctor is expected to make. And at the end of the video, I'll give you my own thoughts on whether or not it's worth the time and money to become a naturopathic doctor. Factor number 1, years of experience. This is kind of obvious, but the number of years you've been in practice has a huge impact on your income. If you are a brand new naturopathic doctor starting out at a brand new clinic, your first year income is going to suck. It's gonna suck a lot. But if you stick it out at that clinic and grow your patient base, you are going to make more money. And I know this from personal experience and from talking to other naturopathic doctors who have been working much longer than me. In order to predict annual income, you need to know how a naturopathic doctor's income is calculated when they work in a private clinic. When a naturopathic works in a clinic, they are not hired as employees who get an hourly wage. Some places might do that, but usually naturopathic doctors are hired as independent contractors and paid per patient visit. If you want to learn more about being an independent contractor, click on the link above here, or you can look at the link in the description. Independent contractors are paid by commission, and the commission rates are between 50% to 75% of patient fees. For this video, I'm going to calculate things based on the lower 60% commission fee. By the way, I intentionally didn't pick 50% because I think nobody should be accepting or signing any contract that allows for 50% commission. Don't sell yourself short, people. Do not sign a 50% commission contract, okay? I digress. In Canada, a naturopathic doctor can expect to make these amounts if they have a 60% commission rate. If you want to calculate how much a naturopathic doctor makes in a month, all you gotta do is find out how many patients they saw in that month. For example, during my first year of practice at a brand new clinic, I signed up to work only 2 days a week. In each week, I averaged about 1 new initial appointment, 5 30-minute follow-up appointments, and 1 60-minute follow-up appointment. A total of 7 appointments each week. If you multiply these numbers by the amount per visit, you get this. 1 initial times 120 equals 120. 5 30-minute appointments times 48 equals 240, and 1 60-minute appointment is $75, so that's 75. Add those numbers up, you get a total of $435 per week. Times that by 4, then you get $1,740 per month. Multiply that by 12 months, then you get $20,880 per year. Now that's if you worked every single week in the year. In reality, you're probably going to take 2 weeks off for vacation, and you might also take 2 weeks off because you have an emergency or maybe you weren't feeling well. So instead, multiply 1,740 by 11 months, and then you get $19,140 per year. Yay, you're a doctor, but earning less than a grocery store cashier. And remember, this number is before taxes and all the expenses of being in practice. So the net income is probably less than $19,000 a year. But hey, it takes time to grow a practice and you gotta start somewhere. Also, you need to think about the value of your working hour. You're making $19,000 a year not working every day. You're just working only 2 days a week, and not even a full 2 days. Really, technically only 4.5 hours a week. If you consider adding maybe 1.5 hours of behind the scenes works to do charting and patient research, maybe a total of 6 hours per week. So if you divide $435 by 6 hours, you're earning $72.50 per hour. That's a pretty high number for an hour of work. So at the end of a year, yes, a grocery store clerk may end up making more than you, but the value of your working hour is $72.50 per hour, and it will only take you 6 hours to earn $435, whereas someone who earns $15 an hour will need to work 29 hours to earn the same amount. This means you have more free time. Also, you probably aren't just going to work 2 days a week. Some naturopathic doctors supplement their income by working at multiple clinics, so maybe they might spend 2 days at one clinic and 2 days at another clinic, or a naturopathic doctor might choose to pick up a part-time job instead. For me, before I became a fully registered naturopathic doctor, I was already an anatomy tutor and I was working as a nutritionist at a supplement store. So I just continued those jobs when I started working at a new clinic for 2 days a week. Over time, when your client base grows, you're going to make more money. If you continue working 2 days a week but double your patient numbers each day, then you're going to get way more money. You're going to make around $38,000 instead of the measly $19,000 a year. And if your patient base grows even higher, you can consider dropping the part-time jobs that you had on the side and just focus on growing your practice. I have a friend who's been in practice 5 years longer than me, and at her 5-year mark, she was working 4 days in the clinic and saw about 10 patients each day. And that brought her income to about $90,000 a year. If it wasn't for all the lockdowns and the stay-at-home orders that have been happening recently, I'm pretty sure she would be at a solid 6 figures right now. And all she had to do was really be patient and make it through those first few slow years in order to grow and get that kind of income. Additionally, if you choose to work at a clinic that gives you a higher commission rate, about 75% instead of 60%, that's obviously going to increase your income. Also, if you work at a place that doesn't do commission but does a monthly rent, in the beginning it might be difficult to pay and cover that rent fee, but as your patient base grows, you'll get to take home more money at the end of the day than if you were on commission. And finally, when you gain more experience through the years, you might feel more comfortable with increasing your patient fees. So when you consider everything that I just said, years of experience has a huge impact on your annual income. Okay, how you doing? You're good? Do you need water? Do you need some tea? Oh, okay. I'm gonna drink some tea. Okay, moving on to factor number 2, active versus passive income. As an independent contractor, naturopathic doctors bring in money through active income, meaning they trade their time and services for money. And if you solely rely on active income and you go on vacation for a week, or if you're sick for a week, during that time that you're away, you do not get paid. If you do not see patients, then you do not get paid. And this is why a lot of naturopathic doctors begin panicking and look into passive sources of income. Passive income is money that you make without having to give up your time. It's money that you can make even when you aren't at work. In this section, I'll touch on 2 ways naturopathic doctors have been usually making passive income. There are, of course, a lot more ways, but for the sake of this video and keeping it shorter, I'm only going to touch on 2. And when I say the word passive, I say it with very heavy air quotes because passive suggests that it's income that is very easy to make, that you don't have to put any work into it to get money back, but actually in reality, you have to do a lot of work up front in the beginning to start this line of income, and then over time it does eventually become passive income. So one way a naturopathic doctor makes money on the side is by running a small dispensary. So let's say you've been in practice for a couple of years and you've noticed that 4 or 5 supplements that you've been recommending has been very helpful for a large majority of your patients. And before you are sending your patients off to go buy the supplements online or to buy them at the nearby supplement store, instead of doing that, you could actually just try to sell it at your own clinic. You can buy the supplements yourself from your preferred companies at a wholesale price and then sell it to your patients at the same retail price that your patients pay at the supplement store. Or if you want, you can be a little bit more competitive and sell it for a little bit less than at the supplement stores. For example, let's say you recommend a B complex frequently and you find it's been beneficial for your patients, so you can buy that B complex at a wholesale cost of $20 per bottle. At the nearest supplement store, you find out that they sell the same product for $40. So you can sell that product to your patient at $40 as well, or if you want, you can sell it at a discounted rate of $37. So your patient can save $3 if they bought it with you instead of buying it for $40 at the supplement store, and at the same time, you'll be making some money on the side. $17 per bottle sold. And you'll be making that money passively. You won't have to actively spend time to make that extra money. A patient can come into the clinic and buy the product even when you aren't around. Now, this doesn't generate tons of money, but it is something that can supplement your income. If you sell 4 bottles per month, that gives you an extra $68 per month. 68 times 12 is $816 per year. You can put that money towards groceries, you could put it towards paying down your student debt, you can put it towards an index fund, you can do whatever. And of course, if you were to increase the inventory of your dispensary, that might increase sales as well. And if you, of course, sell more than 4 bottles a month, your income's just gonna go up from there. Now, a small disclaimer, if you do sell products at your clinic, you will need to be sure that your patients know that there is a conflict of interest there. You do make money from the sales of those products. So ethically, you need to let them know that they can buy that supplement from you, or they can buy it from the supplement store nearby or online. They have to be given a choice of who to buy the supplement from. Another way to earn passive income is by becoming a clinic owner. When you're an independent contractor, a part of your earnings goes toward the clinic that you work for. But if the clinic that you work for is your own, then you get to keep all of your earnings. And then you can make additional income if you hire other practitioners to work with you under the same roof. Let's say you might hire some chiropractors, a few massage therapists, a physiotherapist. They'll all come work under your clinic name, and they will pay you a portion of the earnings that they make through commission. Or if you don't want to have them pay a part of their fees, you could also charge them a monthly rent, and they'll just have to pay that monthly rent to you to use your clinic space. So even if you decide to take a day off of work, you're still making some income if the other practitioners at your clinic are seeing patients. In 1 year, a new clinic could potentially earn $150,000 a year. And of course, it will only get higher as time goes on. Of course, some of the clinic's earnings will have to go back into the clinic to pay for rent, other expenses, the wages of employees, and of course, the commission of the practitioners. But then after that, the rest that's left over, you can pay a portion of that to yourself as a salary. I do personally know a few clinic owners, but I haven't had the courage to talk to them and ask them how much they are earning as clinic owners. I don't want to put pressure on them or make them feel uncomfortable by divulging that information to me, but I have looked around online to see what clinic owners make, and I stumbled across this website called Investing Doc. It's a very informative blog written by a medical doctor who has built his own private practice. And he wrote a post called Financial Breakdown of a Primary Care Clinic, How Much Money Does It Make? And it's a wonderful post. He's a medical doctor and clinic owner who pays himself a base salary of $10,000 per month, and that value can increase depending on how well the clinic does in that month. And a small reminder, earning this kind of money is definitely not easy. There's nothing really passive about it, especially at the beginning. But in the end, he writes this: "I've built a steady panel of patients and things have become more on autopilot every day I show up to work. To all the people considering starting their own practice, the beginning is definitely the hardest. It gets so much better." Now keep in mind, he is running a conventional medical practice. Conventional medical practices are going to generate more money simply because conventional doctors are covered by way more health insurance companies. They are better well known, and also since medical doctors spend less time with each patient, they're able to see more patients in a day, more like 20 to 30 people a day, whereas a naturopathic doctor, they take their time with patients and may see 7 to 10 patients in a day maximum. But I still think that there is great potential for a 6-figure income as a integrative clinic owner, especially if you hire chiropractors, massage therapists, physiotherapists, and maybe even a conventional medical doctor to join your clinic team. So those are just 2 examples of how naturopathic doctors usually earn passive income. There are other ways, as I mentioned, and I'll list them here. If you have any questions about these other ways, just leave a question down below in the comments or send me a message on Instagram. Now on to factor number 3, your level of generosity. And this is a very important factor. I mean, you will actually have to think about this a lot more than you'd expect. Because a lot of people do not have naturopathic coverage on their health insurance plan. Instead, a lot of people have to pay out of pocket for naturopathic services, or if they do have insurance coverage, they may only have $500 a year to spend. They'll spend that amount, and then after it's all gone, they won't come in to see you until their insurance renews next year. So that means a lot of people do not get the health care that they need because they can't afford it. In this case, what would you do if you are a naturopathic doctor and you have a patient who clearly needs your help but does not have health insurance to cover the costs to see you, and also their income isn't very strong? What are you going to do? Are you going to say, bye-bye, you'll have to go somewhere else to get treated? Or will you say, okay, I'll discount my services so that you can still get treatment? Some naturopathic doctors are very black and white, and they will not allow discounts. If you can't afford their services, they'll say, go see someone else that you can't afford. There are other naturopathic doctors at the complete opposite end of the spectrum who are willing to allow patients to pay what they can, and literally pay what they can. If they can only pay $1 per visit, that naturopathic doctor will see them for $1 or $20 or $10. It doesn't matter. And then there are naturopathic doctors who are in the middle, who do something called a sliding scale, meaning if you are someone that can afford the full price, you're going to pay the full price. If you're someone who has very low income, then you'll be given a discounted rate. Your generosity level will have a huge impact on your income. If you only have 8 time slots in your day, financially speaking, you'll want those 8 time slots to be filled up with patients who can afford to pay the full price. If you fill up half of those time slots with people who are paying only 75% of the price or half of the price, then the value of your working hour is going to go down, but at least you're going to be giving patients the treatment that they need. So if you do become a naturopathic doctor, this is something that you will have to strongly consider. Do you want to run a practice that will serve a wealthier, more financially stable demographic, or do you want to run a practice that will serve low-income patients and families? The decision is yours, and know that it will affect your annual income. Now, at the end of the day, with everything that's been said, Is it worth becoming a naturopathic doctor? Should you spend 4 years getting a bachelor's degree and then another 4 years going into naturopathic medical school to get the amount of money that I mentioned earlier? Well, right now I'm kind of on the fence, to be honest. Before I got into naturopathic medicine, I did my Google search and I saw that naturopathic doctors could make between $70,000 to $90,000 a year and thought, whoa, dang, sweet, I'm gonna join. So I expected to graduate and find a job and start earning at least $70K a year. That's far from reality. It's going to take a hell of a long time for me to get to that amount of money each year if I only wait for my patient base to grow, especially during this pandemic. A part of me wishes that I entered a field that was a bit more stable in terms of, being able to survive a pandemic, but I'm pretty sure I'm not alone in that line of thinking, especially during this time. I'd say if you only focus on finances, it will take a long time for this profession to be quote unquote worth getting into. But if you don't focus so heavily on finances and think about quality of life, I do think that this profession does provide a good quality of life, because right now I live a pretty chill, relaxed life. If you compare it to other jobs in the medical profession, let's say a first year in residency, for a first year medical resident, they make around 40K to 80K a year depending on that person's specialty, which is significantly more money than what a first year naturopathic doctor makes. But their quality of life, from what I hear from my medical student friends and also from reading blogs and watching videos of medical doctors who are in residency, it seems like their quality of life isn't the greatest because they have to work really, really long shifts. And they might have to work shifts that are through the whole night into the early morning. They might have to work on holidays, and they might not have time to get enough sleep and eat properly. Since they're always so busy, they might not have time to cook and prepare their own food, so a lot of their income will probably go to ordering takeout and just eating that at home instead of making a good quality home-cooked meal. It'll obviously depend on what kind of person you are, but that kind of lifestyle may give you a lot of stress and may actually use up a lot of money that you're earning. Also, the value of your hour will be lower because the number of hours that you work compared to your income. A lot of residents are making around minimum wage, really, if you calculate the number of hours they work for the amount of money that they make in a day. But for a new naturopathic doctor, sure, you aren't making much money at the end of the year, but as I mentioned before, the value of your working hour is very high in terms of your schedule. You get to pick your schedule, you get to decide what days you work and the hours that you work. You don't have to work on holidays if you don't want to. Since the first few years are slower in the clinic, you will have more time to catch up on the sleep that you totally were deprived of during your med school years, and you will have more time to buy, prepare, and eat good, healthy food. On top of this, I think brand new naturopathic doctors provide very good care to their patients because they don't have many patients to take care of, meaning each patient gets more attention and more time dedicated to them compared to a naturopathic doctor who might have a busier schedule. So is it worth becoming a naturopathic doctor? I think in terms of quality of life, yes, definitely. But if you are strictly thinking about finances, then that's a maybe. It will depend on your motivation and your willingness to be patient enough to grow your client base or to get into other streams of income. In the beginning, it might be rough financially, but if you are able to live below your means and not splurge all your money on unnecessary crap, you will survive, okay? And there are ways to supplement in your income. You just have to be resourceful, put your mind to it, and just go to work. Alright, thank you so much for watching this video. As always, if you find value in my videos, please leave a like or hit the subscribe button to watch more videos like this. Or you can also leave a comment. I really love reading your comments. They are full of really nice things and questions that I love to answer. So leave a comment below as well. Again, thank you for your time. Thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.